Hi Tony, this is Vance. I think that I wanted to make a quick video to explain why we were wanting to have the propeller spin in a reverse direction. And I think that we've come up with a solution to prevent the necessity of having that happen. In the rare case that a camera lens points in the upward direction, most cameras point down towards the focal area, or at least flush. But what's happening with the newer high definition cameras is a lot of them are flat. They're coming up perpendicular, and when the device comes up to touch it, then it won't fall back out. So I was going to have them reverse the propeller spin so that it would bring it back out of the way. Well, I remembered that in our earlier design, we actually had a counterweight that was adjustable with the screw here. And this one's broken, but it still serves the purpose. And that was before we ran the wires through this pivot point. But what that allows to do, as you can see, is if we can adjust this counterbalance slightly backwards, the two of them, one on each side, like our current design is this, where it's attached. But if we were to make it more like this design, where it's detached and we have the ability to rotate it, then it allows us to bring it up, and the weight, because of the adjustment of the counterweight, we can actually have it come up past vertical, and it will still fall down on its own. You can see that past vertical, and well, this one's so old it's worn out, but it will fall back on its own if you adjust this counterweight properly. So the idea is whether to have the propeller spin backwards to bring it off of cameras that point in an upward direction or a flat direction. And I think it's a better solution to simply change our counterweight, take our current design, and detach this counterweight and this counterweight on this side, and put one screw in each side design that will allow us to move those counterweights forward or backwards. And that should allow us to handle any angle of camera out front without having the propeller need to spin backwards. Okay, so I believe we need to take this portion of these counterweights and make these two counterweights separate with a screw that goes in here, a screw that goes in there, even in a way that it doesn't penetrate into the inside, so we don't get any water inside. It's just more like it's externally attached somehow without water getting in. Then it adds a little bit to the assembly, but it may save money in the molding, because you now don't need that weird double cavity kind of design. Perhaps it will make the molding of these two parts, the molds may be simpler. So I need to get your feedback on that. I think that we need to do it to solve the problem, and that'll prevent us from having to design a whole second chip that will reverse spin, or program it so that it reverse spins it back, because it's simply programming. It's just a matter of programming the chip to spin in reverse. But I'm afraid that that will cause this to eventually come off, or the gearbox to eventually come off. All right, thanks a lot.